Primetime Seniors is brought to you by Home Helpers, committed to keeping you safe and independent at home.
Welcome to Primetime Seniors, living for today, making choices for tomorrow. I'm Allie McNair.
And I'm Debbie Morris, owner of Home Helpers.
We have a great show lined up for you today. We're coming to you from Deep Well. It's an impressive nonprofit organization that does great work in our community. We'll find out just what it is that they do in our area. Also, we're going to hear from Taylor Fisher, a personal trainer at Powerhouse Gym. Taylor is going to show us some great strength training exercises.
And then we're going to learn about the benefits of massage once you're done with those strength training exercises. And also hear from Dr. Bonnie Rothwell. She's got a new procedure that can transform your smile.
Also, Dale Planica, DMP Financial Services, will let us know about financial records. How long should we keep them? What ones can we throw away? And when we throw them away, how should we do so? But first, as we mentioned, we're here at Deep Well, and right now we're going to learn more about the organization from their executive director, Betsy Dowdy. Betsy, give us an overview. Who does Deep Well service?
Well, you know, traditionally we say that Deep Well helps the sick, the disabled, the elderly, but especially the working poor. And primarily the people we help are working people. They just don't make quite enough money to cover any little emergencies that might happen. If their car needs an unexpected car repair, then they can't pay their electric bill. If a worker is out with flu, maybe for 3 days, and most of the people we work with are not paid for that time missed from work, they can't pay their rent.
So is it an example that you gave, is it financial assistance as well as we're in the food pantry right now, maybe groceries for the week, that kind of thing?
Exactly. The three requests that we fill most frequently for people in need are helping them with their rents, with their utilities, and with food.
With the economy having taken the downturn that it has over the past couple of years, what have you seen in regards to the needs or the people that are coming in?
The needs, as you might expect, have grown greatly, paying a lot more for rents, a lot more for electric bills, providing a lot more food. I think probably food has been the biggest increase that we've seen in the last 2 years.
For people watching, and if you are able to speak to people one-on-one, what is it that you need or you would like from the community?
Well, of course, we need financial support. It is the community that makes Deep Well possible, and the donations that come in help us to pay for those rents, for those utilities, for the prescription medicines, for all the things we do. Now also, we're here in our food pantry, and about 85% of all the food that we give away is donated by our community. So we always need food. It goes fast. It goes really fast. So we're always looking for food donations.
And you also help people out that may need furniture.
Exactly. We have a nice big furniture storage room, and our volunteers go out once a week and pick up from those that no longer have need of an item, and they bring it here, and our clients come and pick it up.
You have some volunteers working here today. Do you need more volunteers?
We can always use more volunteers. The time that we really, really need a lot of volunteers is in the winter around the holidays. We are so very busy during the winter, and not only are the needs greatly increased with those rents, those utility bills, etc., but then we do Thanksgiving dinners, we do Christmas dinners. We're the #1 provider of Christmas toys on the island.
It's wonderful.
So we need a lot of extra help then.
And just want to encourage people too to remember Deep Well not only around the holidays but now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even in the summer when people are working, they're still running short.
Well, Betsy Dowdy, I want to thank you so much, and thank you for letting us know more about Deep Well.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Coming up, Taylor Fisher, a personal trainer at Powerhouse Gym, will show us some fantastic strength training tips. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome back to Primetime Seniors. My name is Taylor Fisher here at Powerhouse Gym. Last month we talked about the importance of strength training, specifically with the senior population. So today I'm here to show you some exercises that you can do at home, and then a few that you can do when you come into the gym here at Powerhouse. So we're going to start off using a chair. Of course, we have lots of those around the house, and all the exercises will focus around the use of the chair. So keep it simple. We'll say 2 to 3 sets of 15 repetitions for each of these exercises. Some of them involve just one leg. So we're going to do 12 to 15 on each side of the body. To start off, we're going to do a sit to stand. Sit to stand, of course, just like it sounds, we're going to stand in front of the chair. We want to try and keep our hands on our hips, weight in our heels as we go down, touch, and back up. Of course, working up to this, if we want to start off with a chair that has some handrails, you can put your hands there on the sides to help you assist you down and up, but working towards hands on the hips. And so that's going to be number 1, 3 sets of 15. Exercise number 2, we're going to have a seat here. We're going to do what's called a leg extension or a knee extension. It's going to be working your quadriceps muscles on the top of your thigh. This is single leg. So what we're going to do, again, I want you to take note, I'm sitting straight up. I'm not using the chair back to support myself. That way we're also working on our posture and some core strength. So what we're going to do is we're going to simply extend the leg, squeezing this quad muscle at full extension, and then relax back down. Going to continue this 12 to 15 repetitions with the left leg, 12 to 15 repetitions with the right leg as well. So that'll be exercise number 2. For number 3, we're going to do what's called a leg curl. For this, we're going to stand behind the chair and we're going to hold on to it for balance. Of course, this is one where you can work your way up to where you just hold on to your hips if your balance is good, but to start off and be safe, we're going to hold on right here. For this, what you're going to do is curl your leg backwards. So think heel to hips. You're going to pull your heel back up towards your hips, squeeze your hamstring muscle on the back of the thigh, then relax back down. Again, this is a single leg exercise, so we're going to do 12 to 15 repetitions on the left, 12 to 15 repetitions on the right. So that's going to cover 2 of the major muscle groups in our lower body. The third exercise is going to be hip flexion and extension. This is going to again work some of the muscles on the front of the thigh, the quadriceps, your hip flexors, but also your glutes, which is the third major muscle group in the lower body. So for this, we're going to stand offset to the chair, still holding on for balance. We're going to lift our knee high in front and then sweep, extend back. Again, high knee in front, sweep and extend and back. 1 repetition includes forwards and backwards. Okay, so we're going to get 12 to 15 left, 12 to 15 right with this one. Another important area for our lower body is going to be the outsides of our hips. A lot of times we see trouble where the knees buckle in and it causes pain in the knee joints and knee ligaments. So to help strengthen the outside of the hip, we're going to work on some hip abduction, which is where we're lifting our legs straight out from the side. Again, I'm going to stand offset to the chair. You can hold one hand on your hip if you'd like. You're going to raise straight to the side and then back down. One key as you do this, try and keep your upper body still. Just move the leg. If we get to where we're rocking side to side, we're just throwing momentum and we're not using the correct muscles. So we're just going to go side to side, 12 to 15 of these each leg. And so those are going to be a great little circuit. Put those together at home for you to do every day. 2 to 3 sets, 12 to 15 repetitions for each exercise. I want to bring in a tool that we have here at Powerhouse Gym, and this tool is called a BOSU ball, and that stands for both sides up. We're just going to stick with the blue side up for today, and I'm going to show you some great exercises. This is what we use for balance, also strength, but definitely balance is a big key and important to what we do with strength training. So what we're going to do simply is just do some of those exercises standing on the ball. Of course, as you can see, it's an unstable surface, so it's a little more challenging. Something where you can hold on to a partner, hold on to a chair to start with this. And just to give you an idea, I'm going to show you the hip flexion and extension, raising the knee up, sweeping the leg back. As you can see, my foot that's positioned on the ball is making little corrections forward and backwards, side to side. And that is going to be the challenge. Help us work on balance and stability. So a great tool we have here at Powerhouse Gym. I encourage each of you to come down here and check it out. And then once we get done with our exercise, our body gets tight, our muscles are warm, and we want to utilize all available tools. And one of the best options out there is massage. And so right now I'm going to turn it over to Victor Jacob, and he's going to tell you more about the benefits of massage therapy.
Thank you, Taylor. That's right. Anybody that's a professional athlete, that's just very athletic or that works out a lot, will tell you that a massage is a great way to recover in between workouts, that they'll help your body to rebuild. Why is it supposed to work? Well, trainers and doctors and athletes will tell you that it's a great way to get lactic acid out of the system, that massage helps to milk that out of your system. Well, there's actually some research that said that that's not true. There's also research that says that lactic acid isn't the bad guy that we think it is with working out. They'll tell you that massage is a great way to increase your circulation and all sorts of other things. But really, the way massage works in helping you recover is by directly stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the part of your brain that tells your body it's time to repair. It's also called the rest and digest system. Generally, when you're asleep, that's when the parasympathetic nervous system goes into effect. Well, other than being asleep, you can get that working during a massage. That system is going to tell your body it's time to repair damaged tissue, it's time to digest food, it's time to create energy, it's time to help your brain reset from the day, all those things that normally only happen when you're in dreamland, but it can happen in the day while you can really enjoy it. So the real way to recover, to use massage as a recovery tool, is to get a full body Swedish style, which is the long stroking massage, not the aggressive kneading, for at least 20 to 30 minutes, not just on the area that you worked out, but over the whole body, so that that relaxation response gets stimulated and your body does begin to recover. So whether or not all of those biological effects are completely backed by science, you definitely will feel better, you'll be more relaxed. The process of this parasympathetic nervous system working is going to cause your muscles to relax, it's going to cause your blood flow to increase, it's going to make you feel more like you should go out and exercise the next day as opposed to staying home and soaking in a warm bath and generally breaking your workout cycle. It's also going to give you a much more positive attitude and just generally keep you on track. So absolutely, all those trainers, all those doctors, all those people that say that massage is a great way to recover in between workouts, they're telling you the truth. I'm Victor Jacob with Spa Central.
Financial record keeping is really important, but do you ever feel like you are just buried under mounds of paperwork? Here to help us figure out what we need to keep and what we don't is Dale Planica of DMP Financial Services. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Ellie.
So let's get right to it. What do I need to keep and what is okay to get rid of?
Well, generally speaking, your financial records fall into a couple of different categories. You have your legal documents, such as your deeds to your homes, your wills, your trusts. Those documents you want to keep pretty much forever. Okay. Then you have documents relating to insurance claims. This might include your insurance policies, certainly, as well as any documents supporting major purchases for your home and improvements on your home and things like that, so that if you do have a claim, you're able to support what the cost was and get replacement value for that. The questions I get mostly are concerning the tax returns and what do I need to keep. People come to me with a shoebox full of information and say, here it is, and then afterwards they'll say, well, can I throw this out now? And generally speaking, you want to keep everything that supports something on your tax return for as long as you need to. And what that means is that you want to look at what the IRS can do as far as going back and looking at your tax return. There is a 3-year statute of limitations on tax returns. And that means that when you file your tax return, the IRS can go back 3 years to look at that particular return. So your 2009 return, which you filed on April 15th of 2010, the IRS has until April 15th of 2013 to examine that particular tax return. There are exceptions, of course, to that. The IRS has a rule that if they determine that you have understated your income by 25% or more, the statute of limitations becomes 6 years. And if the IRS has suspicion that you may have filed a fraudulent return, which is kind of a subjective test, or if you filed no return at all, then they can go back indefinitely, so you're going to need those records forever.
Okay, if I am a good tax-paying client, can I say this can all go after 3 years then?
Well, all of my clients are good tax-paying clients. And generally speaking, that's true. You can pretty much get rid of your normal records, your canceled checks and so forth after 3 years has passed. The exception might be for some documents that are needed because they relate to something that's going to happen in the future. If you buy a security, but you don't sell it for a number of years, you're going to want to keep it till 3 years after you actually disposed of that security.
Okay. Okay, that's great information. Now, if I am an owner of a small business, can I take the information you gave us for individuals and say that blanketly applies to me as a small business?
Generally speaking, yes. The same rules apply to the tax returns for small businesses that apply for individuals. However, I advise my small business clients that they want to keep certain records, particularly those relating to employment, for at least 7 years. These would be records of the payroll taxes that are filed, the W-2s, and also any documents relating to the employment, such as reviews and so forth for your employees, so that if there's a lawsuit or something like that in the future, you'll want to have those handy. So I ask them to keep those for at least 7 years after the employee has terminated his employment.
What about copies and how best to keep them if you're an individual or a business? Is there a tried and true or best method?
Well, the tried and true method is to fill up a box.
Okay.
And a lot of people do that. We have these tremendous boxes, and people have storage boxes, storage bins full of these boxes. That's worked for years, and that's what people have always done because we've always had volumes of paper. As we get more and more into the paperless society, you'll find that a lot of your documentation can come to you online, such as your bank statements, your broker statements. Those can be downloaded directly from your broker and then be stored in your computer. Once they're in your computer, you can then go to a flash drive such as this and download everything to this flash drive, which is obviously much smaller than the box in terms of saving your documents for the future. So the other thing that's good about this flash drive is, for example, if we have to evacuate for a hurricane, it's much easier to grab your flash drives and put them in your pocket than to fill up your trunk with all these boxes.
No kidding. The portability of that is far superior. And then, of course, there's always the CD method as well as the flash drive.
That's correct. You can also get a CD and store it on your CD and take that with you, too. It's also a good idea to have a second copy and give it to a trusted friend or a relative who's not living in the area, so that your records are always available.
Oh, that's a great idea. What about when you have given me the okay, or we say, hey, I can actually throw this out? Is it okay if I just take the piece of paper, or whatever it may be, crumple it up and throw it in the trash, or what do you recommend?
Well, that's not a good idea. The best thing to do at this point is to shred your documents and get a good shredder. There are shredders that do cross-cut shredding, and that's probably the most effective. There are also companies that will come to you or come to your business and do shredding for you on the spot. And that's a good way to do it, and probably the most effective way. Well,
you've been great, Dale Planica, at answering my questions, but now we want to give an invite to people to send in a question for Dale to answer for our next episode of Primetime Seniors. This is how you do it. Just email primetimeseniors@WHHI-TV.com. Dale Planica, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will be back with much more of Primetime Seniors in just a moment.
Welcome back to Primetime Seniors. Summertime is synonymous with outdoor fun and recreation, but we still need to take some precautions. Here are some helpful tips to staying safe. You've heard them before, but it doesn't hurt to be reminded.
Our Primetime Seniors tips are brought to you by Home Helpers, making life easier.
Hydrate. Everyone, regardless of health, should drink plenty of non-alcoholic fluids during these hot summer months. Some of the best choices: water, juice, and sports drinks. Wear sunscreen. Protecting your skin from damaging exposure to the sun is important. In addition to protective clothing and lip balms, play it safe. Regularly apply sunscreens that provide UVA and UVB protection. Stay cool. Heat exposure can lead to many serious health problems, including exhaustion, heat stroke, and even death. In addition to seeking shade when you're outdoors, wear lightweight, light-colored, and loose-fitting clothes, and run your errands in the early or latter part of the day. Properly prepare and store food. Many people overlook the reality of food-related illnesses. Make sure to cook meat, poultry, and seafood thoroughly. Clean utensils and surfaces, and wash your hands often to help prevent illness from the juice of the raw foods. In addition, foods requiring refrigeration can spoil. When outside or when food is left out in higher temperatures, Food can begin to spoil after 30 minutes. This poses a real safety risk.
Some people say a smile is worth 1,000 words, but how confident are you about your smile? I'm joined by Dr. Bonnie Rothwell. She is an accredited member of the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. Congratulations on the accreditation, and if you could tell us what it means to be accredited, what do you have to do?
The process of being accredited with the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry requires passing a written board exam and then completing specific cosmetic case types and submitting those to a panel of examiners who judge the cases. Once those are all passed, then there is an oral examination as well.
Now, when you say submitting specific cases, is this actual work you've done?
This is actual work we've done right here in the office on actual patients.
So that means you have a board looking at your work and saying, gee, does this meet the bar of really being an accredited member?
That's correct.
That's great. Now, you're the only one I understand in the Hilton Head area with this accreditation. How many people in the state of South Carolina have it?
There are currently 5 in the state of South Carolina, and about 350 worldwide.
Wow. Worldwide, so you're one of those 350. Good for you. I want to ask you, as our show deals with aging and seniors, what happens to the quality of our smile as we age?
What we see happen as we all age, our teeth tend to wear and shorten and chip. They become darker in color, and some people have aged restorations on their teeth that become discolored or start to leak.
And I know there are several options available for people, but what is the latest?
The latest option, and I think my favorite option, would be Durathin veneers, and it's a trademark veneer created by a specialized lab who can hand layer porcelain to make them look very natural, and they can be very thin, so we don't have to remove healthy tooth structure.
And is that important?
It's always important. Anytime you can save healthy tooth structure, it's important to do that. Not only for the sake of saving healthy tooth structure, but also because when you can bond porcelain onto enamel, it's really the strongest bond that we have in dentistry.
How would I know if I'm a candidate for that procedure?
Well, you could come in for a consultation, and we would sit down and take a look and discuss what your goals are and go from there.
What about what's involved with the specific procedure itself for Durathin veneers? What do you do?
The procedure itself, we take some preliminary records, and then we would remove any old filling material that you have that is not healthy, replace that, because we would not want to bond something new over something old. Then we would take an impression for the laboratory and make temporary veneers. The temporary veneers are the most important part because it gives you the chance to go home and test drive the veneers. So you can decide if you like the shape or the length or the color of those veneers. Then we would have you come back and make any little changes that you might like.
That sounds great to me, because then if there's any issue at all, rather than ending up with your final veneers, I can say to you, gee, Dr. Rothwell, they look a little short or they look a little too long, and you can fix that before you get the final version.
That's right. That never happens. We never get surprised at the end because we worked it out in the beginning.
That's great. And how many days, weeks, months does it take to really go from beginning to end of the...
Usually from beginning to end, it takes about 3 to 4 weeks.
And once I have those Durathin veneers, any special considerations I need to have while I'm wearing them? I mean, they're permanently on there now, but...
Well, the routine maintenance is important, to have your teeth cleaned every 6 months just so that they're checked. Everything is checked and it is verified that everything is still bonded as it should be and sealed as it should be. But I think the most important part for the patient to do at home, other than good oral hygiene, would be to avoid biting into hard, crunchy things which can chip porcelain just like it can chip natural tooth structure.
Well, Dr. Rothwell, I want to thank you for letting us know about Durathin veneers.
You're welcome.
And that will do it for this edition of Primetime Seniors. We want to thank Dr. Bonnie Rothwell, the folks at Deep Well, Dale Planica of DMP Financial Services, Powerhouse Gym and Spa Central, and of course my co-host Debbie Morris of Home Helpers. Until next time, live primetime, seniors.